Hello folks, welcome along to A Taste of Country with Lucia Butler. I've got a guest here beside me, Colm Bourke.
Hi Lucia, nice to see you.
Thank you very much, Colm. You're very welcome. Now I know you're a country singer there from Offaly. Can you tell us where you're from?
Yeah, I'm from a little small village in County Offaly called Shinrone.
Okay, very good. And have you been into the music from a very early age, Colm?
Yeah, Lucia, I've been playing for the last, I suppose, 10 years up and down the country, and I've played lots of different venues, and I'm trying to get bigger into it now if I can, you know.
Tell me, do you play a musical instrument, Colm?
Play the keyboard, bang away on the keyboard there. So.
Very good. Would you have been doing all them flacioles when you were young, or...?
No, Lucy, no, I never got to those. But I tell you, I started off years ago doing musicals in societies over there and down the country, and I got involved in all the big shows down there, and then eventually it moved on, and I decided to go on the road and play some music, and that's where I am now, you know.
Colm, I know you're living in Offaly. Sorry, you're not living in Offaly. You're living up in Longford at the moment, but you are from Offaly.
That's right, Lucy. I'm living in Ballymahan, County Longford. I moved up there a few years ago. It's near to where I'm working as well, and I'm liking it over there, yeah.
You do have a full-time job as well, don't you, Colm? You working with the elderly as well?
I do, Lucy. I work in a nursing home doing maintenance, and I get involved in a bit of music for them as well. Every Friday there I play a bit of music for them, and they seem to enjoy it anyway, so that's, you know. And
do you ever get any of them singing, Colm, yourself?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. There's one man in particular, he's a Scottish man, and he loves singing, so I do get him up every Friday, and he sings a few songs, and sure, it's great crack for them, you know.
If you can put a smile on their faces, sure, haven't you achieved a lot, like?
That's what it's all about. I mean, it's try and keep people happy, send them home happy, and that's the main thing, isn't it? You know.
Now, Colm, tell me, as you're growing up, any of your family do any singing, your parents or your siblings? Yeah,
well, years ago, Lucia, my grandfather died when about a month before I was born, and seemingly he was a great singer. He won some cups and trophies for singing, but I never got the pleasure of meeting him. But then my father sings an odd old song, and my sister's a good singer, but my mother, she passed away there suddenly last year, and she didn't sing at all, but she always loves the music, and always used to come and hear me singing, and you know, so that's they all like the music, but as in taking part in music, they didn't really, you know.
Okay, and I know you did speak about your mum there, and I know, Colm, you were bringing out an album just before your mum died. You were going to bring out an album. You were in the middle of doing it, and tell us the story of that. Then you changed your mind, and
yeah, I started off doing an album, and I entitled it "Songs from the Heart," and I got into the recording studio down in Tullamore there, and I decided I'd do a few songs. Yeah. And after 6 songs, I had 6 songs down at the time and completed, and I was ready to go back to do the last 4, but my mother passed away in the meantime, so what I did was I hadn't the heart really to go back after that. So
heartbreaking for you then, obviously.
Yeah, it was a big blow because she passed away suddenly at the age of 66, so it was a big shock for us all, but I decided then that I couldn't really face going back doing the last 4, so what I did was I released it as a 6-track album, and we got it sold fairly well, and people seem to like it, and it gets lots of airplay on we'll say the radio stations down my own part of the country, like Midlands Radio 3, Shannon Side, Tip FM, and also your own station, which you're very good to me, Lucy. You play a lot of my stuff there, you know, and thank you for that, and to everybody that does play the stuff for me, you know.
That's very good, our pleasure. And so did you dedicate it to your mum, Colm?
Yeah, I dedicated the album to my late mother, Sheila. She as I said to you before, she loved the music, and I kind of was her blue-eyed boy, if you know what I mean, that no matter where I went kind of with the music, if it was anywhere near, herself and Dad would come and have a listen to it, and they really loved the music, you know. It was a big shock and a big blow when she passed away suddenly, you know.
And the name of the album is?
The name of the album was called Songs from the Heart.
Okay, and if any of the listeners out there want to get that album, Colm, how would they go about getting it?
Well, I have a website up and running there, Lucy. It's www.colmbourke.com, and there's lots of information on there.
Can we just Colm, that's COLMBOURKE.com. That's colmbourke.com.
That's it, Lucy. Yeah. And if anybody wants to make any inquiries, they can contact the website there, or contact yourself there. I'm sure you have a couple of copies there of it, you know. And if anybody wants it, it's there. But at the meantime, I'm sort of, at the moment, I went back into the studios there, and I did a song which was given to me by a lovely man called Vic Holsride, and it's a song called He Was a Rock and Roll Kid, and I've just recorded that, and it's my latest single that's out there now at the moment, and I think you're giving it a good bit of play there anyway, so, and thanks for that, and I'm trying to get that out there, and it's a really up-tempo country song, and people love it when they listen to it. There's a great story to the song, and he was good enough to give it to me, and I recorded it, and thanks be to God, it's going well at the moment.
But you know, Vic was actually sick at the time when he wrote that song, and that's exactly, he wrote that song, and it's kind of a fun song. He was a rock and roll kid, and now he's ready to step into the country shoes, Vic.
That's it. I spoke to Vic once or twice on the phone. He's a lovely man, and he was great to give me the song, and thank you very much for that, Vic.
He's a great songwriter indeed, Colm. There's lots of songs that man has penned, and melodies and all that as well.
Oh my God, he's very good, and he's very obliging. When I went to him there, and he started to send me on stuff, he's very good, and
absolutely
excellent it was now.
Absolutely, and there's lots of good songwriters out there as well. There's loads of them out there, and keep up the good work, guys, all of you that are penning songs, because I think to be honest, they don't get enough credit for what they do.
Oh, absolutely not, and there is some more, and you even write some songs yourself, Lucia, I believe, so we'll have to have a listen to one of those, and maybe we might record one for you. You never know.
Well, you never know, Colm, but I just think it's a great thing to be able to pen a song, or songs from the heart, as you said. You know, every song nearly has a meaning, a story behind it, don't it? Oh sure,
it's fantastic. And going back to the song, the rock and roll kid, the story of the song, I'm sure you're going to play it after we have this whole interview, but the story of the song is amazing, about an old guy that used to be a punk rocker, and he decided that he was too old for that, and he decided that he was going to go, and he's happy in his country attire now. So it's a great up-tempo beat to it, and I'm very happy with it, and hopefully, please God, touch wood, it's going to do well out there, you know. And
it will.
There's a few more to follow. I have a few more to follow at the moment. I'm back in the studio, and I'm just putting a few pieces together, and hopefully there's going to be an album out.
It will be on your forthcoming album next year.
Oh, it will, early next year. I hope to bring out a 10-track album with some new material on it that nobody has heard before. So any songwriters out there who want to send me on some stuff, I'm open to listening to everything, you know. Okay, very good. He Was a Rock and Roll Kid is a lovely song, and I wish you every success with it. Thanks very much, Lucia, and once again, thanks very much for having me on today. Sure, look at Colm, it's always a pleasure. And I believe you've got 2 DVDs done there, 2 videos. Oh yeah. If you go into YouTube and put in Colm Bourke, there's 2 videos up there. That actually, one of them was on the Phil Mack Country Show there not so long ago. I did a song called "The Boston Rose," and I did a song called Blue Ridge Mountain Girl, and both of them are getting lots of hits on YouTube. And if you want to check me out, just pop onto YouTube there and have a look, or else pop onto the website www.colmbourke.com. And I believe a very good friend of mine there done those videos for you. He done a fantastic job, Steve Blur. Yeah, Steve Blur is a very easy man to work with. He does an awful lot of stuff for people all around Ireland, and I was very happy to bring him on, and he was very helpful, and thanks very much, Steve. A gentleman he is. And Steve is going to be doing a video to this. He Was a Rock and Roll Kid. Yeah, we have a few plans in the pipeline there as to we're in talks at the moment trying to get a story together to make a good a video for it, and hopefully we'll get some play on channel 191 or put it up on YouTube, and people can check that out in a few weeks' time as well. So that's in the pipeline as well, you know. Very good, Colm. Very good. You're very enthusiastic indeed. You must have a good PR behind you there. Oh, because I have it. I'm talking to her. It's yourself, Lucia. You're decided to come on board and give me a hand out there with PR, and I have to say you're doing an excellent job yourself, and thanks very much for that. Thank you. But if anyone wants to have an interview with you, Colm, then they can either go onto the website and get some information, or come on to me and arrange an interview with Lucia Butler here. Correct, Lucia. Yeah, if they get onto the website there, they'll find all the information that's needed, or if they contact yourself, I'm sure you'll be glad to pass on the number. Absolutely, Colm. Well, we look forward to having we'll continue to play this He Was a Rock and Roll Kid, and we look forward to the forthcoming singles that will be on that forthcoming album. Really looking forward to it. And is there plans to put a band on the road maybe down the line somewhere? Yes, Lucia, we're also going to try and see how to work out by putting a band on the road by sometime in 2014, maybe early if I can, and try and get out there on the scene and get people dancing and having a bit of fun, you know, because I do a nice bit of work before the main bands in different places like the Racket Hall, Roscrea and Roscrea.
Support act then before to warm them all up.
Oh, to warm them up, get them dancing and get them sweating before the big bands come on. So I've got the kind of the bug, and I'm hoping that I can put that thing together and hopefully get out there on the road so people can get to see what I do and how I do it.
Do you know what, Colm? I'm not being negative here, but it's a tough old time out there to be starting off, isn't it, in Ireland here? It's a tough old time to be getting the work and putting the band together, and I do wish you every success with it.
Oh, thanks, Lucy. You do need a lot of luck with it as well, but I mean, if you keep trying and keep resisting, or as a famous man said to me one time, I'm not going to mention his name, he said, keep knocking on those doors, and if you keep knocking on those doors, one will open eventually. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm knocking on doors.
I hear you knocking.
You want to let me in?
Well, please God, you know, Colm, that's Colm Bourke, folks, www.colmbourke.com. Any information you want, just pop in there or pop onto his Facebook there. He's on Facebook as well. Or you can, that's it really. Colm Bourke on Facebook, and if you want any information, pop over after the interview and say hello to him. If you're not friends with him, pop over there, and I'm sure, Colm, you'll be very obliging. We've got lovely listeners all over the world.
Thanks, Lucia, for having me on today, and if you just pop onto Facebook and give me a shout there, and we'll have another chat and see what we can do. And once again, thanks to all the DJs all over the place that play all my stuff, and to all the listeners out there on your radio station. I believe they're very loyal listeners, and thanks very much. And if you're requesting my songs anywhere, I'm sure that somebody will have them. And thanks very much again.
Okay, Colm, it's been an absolute pleasure having you doing a taste of country for irishcountrymusicradio.com, and I wish you, and I'm sure I can speak on behalf of all the presenters there, we wish you continued success and lots of luck for the future.
Thanks very much, Lucia. Thank you.
God bless you. From Lucia Butler and
Colm Bourke.
God bless.